with the desire to get rid of them, and they leave happy that they did. And I thought, well, let me share this. Let me just make this one anxiety-driven malady a thing of the past. So I thought that I would. Now, the thing that is different about the way I approach this problem than some other teachers is that, first of all, I understand that it's setup based and that patterns are developed that cause anxiety over time. So the shanks doesn't happen as a result of a lack of athleticism or a lack of ability. Those two things are not the same. It's irrational to think that way because everybody is athletic and everybody is capable. So how does it happen that somebody develops the shanks? Well, they have to set up closed. They have to set up in a way that their body moves too much and their arms and hands do too little. Okay, it results in a late release of the golf club as opposed to an early release. So people always, one of the remedies that you'll always hear is you're standing too close to the golf ball, move further from the golf ball. Because logically, it makes sense that if you're hitting the ball here and you move further from it and put the same swing on it, you'll start hitting it in the middle of the club. But that's never the case, is it? It's never the case. Because the problem is not exactly how far you stand from it. It's not wrong, but it's incidental to what it causes you to do athletically to compensate for that distance. And we all compensate because our brains are active when we swing a golf club. The reason that it's not effective and that it's incidental is because our hands and arms start to do more work, but because we have the same problem with our setup, it doesn't solve the problem. And the setup is the desire to hit the ball across our body. Instinctively, this is the right-handed golfer's only reference point between their eyes and the target. So we tend to set up closed. Okay, our shoulders tend to set our feet. So if I'm aiming at that yellow flag, my shoulder, I put my shoulder between myself and that yellow flag, I'm set up about 15 to 20 degrees closed. And over time, the pattern develops in your golf swing to adapt to that setup. Okay? Golf is just all about adaptation to setup. The relationship between the feet, the ball, and the target are the three things that are most important to develop a good golf swing. So that's why I developed the Open Stance Academy as well. However, getting back to the shanks, you've heard people say get further from the golf ball. You've heard people say, oh, you're casting the golf club. You know, like Carl Spackler in Caddyshack. You're here, you might as well be hitting from the ladies' tees, right? Not exactly as it seems, because what you can't see from a head-on view is that they're casting the golf club to compensate for shoulders that are opening too much. And the shoulders open too much because the person is trying to hit it across their body at the target. It's a devilish cycle of cause and effect that causes the shanks. So let's try to unwind this a little bit. So what has to happen in order not to try to hit it across your body? Well, you'd have to put the target in a place in your view and in your stance and in a relationship to the golf ball that is out in front of you instead of over your shoulder. Okay? So you want to set up so the target looks like it's more in front of you than over your shoulder. Okay? So by setting up open, you set in motion a course of events, causes and effects that fixes not just the shanks, but your golf swing in general. It creates power, it creates the structures that lead to power. So what I want to do to solve the shanks is set up open, and then this is what happens when you set up open. Number one, since the target is out here instead of over here, you have the need to swing the club back further. You have to swing the club back further. Now, why is that important? It's important because swinging the club back further changes your release point. It changes your release point. It makes it earlier. If the release point is earlier, then the club head starts to move faster than our hands. When it does, our hands slow down. What are our hands connected to? Our shoulders. So our shoulders slow down, which means they don't open. Okay? So by releasing the golf club early, our hands slow down, and when our hands slow down, our shoulders slow down. They don't rotate open, they rotate vertically. When they rotate vertically, the head doesn't launch out away from us. It moves down the path, down the target line. So to cure the shanks, set up open, increase the length of your backswing, and let your release happen naturally. Okay? It will take a while to get rid of the shanks. You have to build competence, and that competence will lead to confidence. But as long as you set up open, here's my target line, and here's my stance. When I move toward the target or toward my left foot and in balance, I'm moving further from my target line. What happens when you move your body further from your target line on your downswing? You have to release the club with your arms and hands. And here's where the recommendation of standing further from the golf ball does make sense. It is correct in a way, because standing further from the golf ball makes your hands more active in your swing, and it eliminates body motion. The closer you get to the golf ball, the more your body has to rotate out of the way. The more your hips have to open, the more you have to post on this knee and this hip. Okay, like Jim Furyk. He stands really close to the ball, and he's got the most active body motion on tour. Okay? Now, when you stand further from the golf ball, your arms and hands, number one, you have to swing flatter, and number two, your arms and hands have to release the golf club just to reach the golf ball. Okay? When you do that, you have to take a big enough backswing to increase your release point or make it a little earlier to reach the golf ball. So your arms and hands, incidentally, have to do more work. Okay? And my shoulders turn under instead of standing close to the golf ball and turning this way. They don't have to open. So when you set up open, you increase the length of your backswing, you create an earlier release point naturally, over time, and because you're moving away from your target line as you move to your left side or to your front side, you have to release your golf club. And when you release your golf club, your shoulders go this way instead of this way, and the shanks are gone forever. Good luck with this. It's fall now. We're going into winter, but people in Florida and the southern climes of the states and around the world may benefit from this now. If not, you can dream about it all winter, get out there in the spring, and really go to work on your swing. All right? All right, everybody take care. I'll see you next time.